right? If the intent is just simply to farm the algorithm, right? Then yeah, XQC and Asmongold, it does in fact fit that criteria. But if the intent is to sabotage Ethan Klein, right? Sure, she has less of an audience, right, than both of these. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Right? Because
of course, but
malice is worse. Yeah, for example, okay, let's just say a person was drunk and ran over, okay, 11 children. All right, 11 children. All right, they're just like little toddlers walking their way to school. All right, and the person ran over 11 small children, okay, while drunk. Versus a person running over, okay, 10 children, all right, on purpose. I think anyone that is not a retard knows exactly who is in the right and who is in the wrong, okay? Like, which one is worse, which one is better, okay? If we have to compare the two, right? So, yeah. The fuck is this? Okay, I don't know.
No. In terms of actual materially like, reacting and trying to transform the content, Denims did actual work. XQC did not.
Yeah.
XQC did fucking nothing.
Stop right there. Have we already watched the part where you're saying that he exempted XQC?
Yes, he said, I'm not going after XQC because XQC did not do this maliciously.
So wait, he said he's not, infringer. Despite our disagreements, he's not the one I'm suing because he didn't exhibit factor that.
If a person runs over 10 kids, intent doesn't matter. It does matter, though. It literally does. Like, in every way. But okay. Yeah. I mean, like, again, okay, I just want to say, intent, not legally, you're wrong. You're wrong. Intent is the difference between the death penalty and life imprisonment.
Is the thing that I'm suing all these people for?
This is autism internet talking. No, it's not. It's like the opposite of autism. Like, it's the direct opposite of autism. It's obvious. Of course intent fucking matters. Yes. What? What are you talking about?
Are you in the presentation? Did you watch the video?
Me?
Yeah, just now. Did you watch the video with us?
Yes. He said, despite our disagreement, or despite my criticisms, he said he's not the one I'm suing. That doesn't mean that he's...
Because he's not a malicious actor.
To do this forever.
He's not a malicious infringer.
Yes, he wouldn't fit in the lawsuit because that's what the lawsuit is like. It requires that factor.
Does not require.
But that's not the same as creating a blanket permission.
Hold on. Why does it? Explain to me why it requires that factor.
Because that's the nature of the lawsuit that he's pursuing.
The nature there's no requirement for malice in terms of copyright infringement.
But that's what he's pursuing. He's pursuing a case that includes
so
that.
he's not actually helping any YouTuber.
He said XQC wouldn't fit into that. So he's not.
Yes, that's what we said.
The people he's
purely
suing.
over his petty vendetta.
Do you know what happens for manslaughter charges? You get back-to-back life sentences sometimes, okay? Or something, right? Or whatever the fuck, okay? Depending on what it is. If it's second-degree murder, you get back-to-back life sentences. You spend your whole entire life in jail, okay? However, if it's just one death, that is, you planned it out, you had motive to do it, it's been proven in a court of law, the jury agrees, and there's overwhelming evidence. Welcome to death row, okay?
With these people who said, "Yeah, you can watch it to us," and not.
I don't know why you guys are missing. I don't know why you guys. So
this doesn't actually help anybody who's gotten their copyright stolen.
It isn't about copyright infringement. It's about his vendetta. It's about these people
also be
trying to
part
fuck
of
me
it.
over. So
you claimed he exempted XQC, but he did no such thing. He just says, "I'm not suing him right now because he doesn't fit."
He does not say right now. Oh, holy! I can't talk anymore. I'm done.
So significantly shorter reaction. 5.1K views on the re-upload of Denim's TTV archive for Denim's reaction. Basically,
yeah, but we're not talking about scam.
4 hours. XQC,
wait, can you show me something where he says XQC has permission to do this, and I will never pursue him legally for this?
He didn't say it. He's not pursuing him legally, and XQC is a far more egregious violator of his. Let's just agree on this. XQC is a far more egregious violator of his copyright. Yes.
Yes, let's just acknowledge this. Going after XQC would be a much more expensive and lengthy and...
Wait, is chat shitting on Jstlk? Wait, no, never mind. Oh my god, of course they're not shitting.
Difficult.
No, that's not... I didn't ask that. You need to say...
Oh, you don't want to answer that? I answered your question, you don't want to answer mine?
Okay, sorry, I didn't know. When you said yes, I wasn't sure if you were saying it to that. You were saying, yes, he is far more egregious copyright infringement.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, then, might not. I don't believe that he doesn't want to go after XQC because it's an easier lawsuit. I believe he won't go after XQC because then he has to deal with actually people criticizing him and being mad at him. And Dan Saltman's the person who's probably encouraging him to do this. He's the person who gave him the pattern, who gave him the Library of Congress, the way to register it. He would say, don't go after XQC. I think it has nothing to do with morality. It has nothing to do with actually pursuing a case or anything moral at all. It has to do with these people.
Look, as somebody who has been on death row before, I promise you that it is way different, okay? You have no idea.
People, it's sides. We're all sides now. I'm going after the other side. You. That's what it is. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been.
Petty.
I agree with you 100% that Ethan is acting under the influence of Dan Saltman for obviously for like the Hassan content nuke and like a lot of the things after. It's obvious that he's kind of just repeating things Dan is telling him. I have no disagreement with that. But the problem is you guys are making the positive claim that there's no way Ethan is at all motivated by the thing that he...
If Foodshops is a ghost, I escaped. I ran away. I won.
The position that he has consistently held and jumped on a soapbox to preach about for years.
Stop.
And my evidence
for that.
You
are just so annoying because you just need to be
you aren't saying he's not primarily. You said
like give them a position that they don't have because you actually don't have a position.
No, Cherry, did you not say it is 0% the other thing? It can only be this one thing. It can only be the fact that he's pissed.
That is not what I said.
You realize that's that. Even if she said that, that would be the only thing you're hanging on to. When like realistically, it's just the majority. That's not his majority reason. Obviously not, because his compass is being weighted way more towards these people who he dislikes than it is towards XQC, the far more egregious copyright infringer, and the person who's causing far more actual harm.
I've quite literally said I will not let him wear that cape unless what he does
Cherry,
actually results in XQC making changes.
You said earlier it
literally said that before. Literally said that before.
Said it cannot be both. I'm sorry.
Literally said that before. Literally said that several times. Literally nobody believes you.
Sorry, you said several times that it could be both things?
I said what I was talking about, but you wanted to talk over me and tell me that that's not what I said because you just want to obfuscate, confuse me, whatever the it is that you're doing.
Why does Cherry's voice sound more childlike to me? Because she's making a childlike argument, not because her voice is childlike, okay?
Because we disagreed on it. Because I said he could be motivated by both things. Could be 5% this thing or 10% this thing. You said, nope, it can only be one.
Okay, I think this is like your caller, Jstlk, so go ahead.
Okay, I've made my argument. My argument's like laid out. It's pretty simple. Yeah,
I don't know. So is mine. You keep agreeing with me that it would be more difficult and more expensive to go after XQC. I keep agreeing with you that part of his motivation.
What did Ethan open the stream with? What did Ethan open his video with?
Let's watch it again. I don't remember.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Almost
it seems
like you don't
this is
remember
what
what
he
I
would want.
said.
Cherry credibility stocks in free fall again. I know. Okay. Serious question. Why doesn't Cherry release the police report? Because it's public domain, right? That's just public knowledge. No. I mean, there's no such danger of like, oh no, this might compromise the investigation on Destiny, right? Like, fuck. Why doesn't she release it? I'm trying to think of a valid reason. Or tell us at least the fucking, I don't know.
Ew.
The problem is you're using as evidence the fact that it is 0%.
Nope.
Holy
Nope.
shit.
The problem is you don't know what the I said. As in, I said, I'm not giving him a cape for doing this on behalf of the smaller streamers or to change the behavior of Asmongold or XQC until it actually changes the behavior of Asmongold or XQC. Right now, he's doing this petty lawsuit. He's doing going after smaller streamers that he feels like he can win against. And if that leads...
When did Congress vote to go to war? They didn't. Trump can just do whatever he wants now, okay?
Leads him to actually suing XQC, then I'll give him those kudos. You and a bunch of other losers want to just act like, oh yeah, he's principled, he's on his...
I literally said that he's doing this partially because like somebody who hurt him.
So go ahead and go back to telling me that I...
Hey, Lynn. I hope they include women in the draft, okay? It would be unfair, okay? It would be unfair to us and the rest of us, okay? If you're excluded out of the draft, okay? It's time for you It's time for you to get back on the draft, okay? Fuck you, okay?
Said it can't be both. No, I said I'm not going to
You
reward
actually did
him
say that.
I'm just
for
gonna,
the
I'm just
one
gonna
where
point out
he's the king
that Supreme
going
has
after
said that it's
big
way
people
cheaper,
until he
way
does it.
easier. And my argument is going to be that Ethan doesn't care about that, and my proof of that is going to be the opening to this video. Let's
Hi
watch.
there.
Oh, he comes out.
My
Go.
name is Ethan Klein,
Okay.
and my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. Today I invite...
Wow. It's almost like he's ready to throw away a bunch of money and it's just to fight on principle right now, right? Hey, just because he's got you money, he's going to go after this. He's going to actually pursue this because it means something to him. But what means something to him is destroying Caseytron, Denims, and Frogan. That's what means something to him. He doesn't give a
I didn't know Caseytron meant that much to Jstlk, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
about other
All
YouTubers.
he
He doesn't
can
give a
get.
about copyright. He's a loser.
Thinks,
You know what?
Thinks he can get the snark mods details as well, because that's the real war he wants to wage, is on people talking negatively about him online.
I just want to say, you know what? I was wrong. You're right. He is certainly, part of his motivation is hurting these people. And I'm sorry that I did not
Majority
agree to
of
this
his
like
motivation.
3 times.
Did you say it's
For sure, maybe even the
The
majority.
majority of his motivation. Just to be
I'm so
clear, I
sorry
said
that I
100
did not
times
agree
the
to this, like, a
majority.
bunch of
100
times.
times the majority.
Yeah.
100 times the majority.
Oh.
So we have a disagreement. You think it's a part of it. I said it's the majority. That is the disagreement. Let's just make it.
Wait, by the way, Lynn, I'm curious. Do you watch my VODs? Because I feel like I end stream earlier than you like work or whatever. Like you're not just like only catching like the tail end of stream, right? You're like watching my VODs, I think, right? Just I don't know how people do it.
I literally
clear.
said
You
it
know
doesn't,
that's
I
my-
said it
you know
doesn't
that's
matter if
my
it's 5 or
position.
10% the other thing. That means that I kind of agree that it could also be like the overwhelming majority. I never disagree with this one time. But you know
Oh,
what?
you totally. Then why have we been arguing? Why didn't you just say, "Oh, I agree
Because
with
I
you that
said-
it could be the overwhelming majority"? You never said that
Because
to me.
Contrarian.
I literally
Yeah, I just watch them at work while I chart. Oh, that's cute. I'm glad that you still watch my content like that. Okay, that's cute. Thank you.
have said this like many, many times now at this point. And just for the record, your argument was he doesn't give a about the copyright stuff. Okay, which implies he cares 0% about the copyright stuff. I keep telling
Here's
you,
very
even-
little.
Because sub
is just gonna work.
15%.
Well, I'm glad I
about
moved your
copyright.
position. We
Sub
can move on.
15% is
Sure.
between
Sub
0 and
I would
15.
agree on.
Yeah, I'd probably. Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, it was productive. Thanks, guys. Did you want to talk to me?
I want. Hold on.
Not if you're just arguing the absolute. It's not irre- Sorry, I wasn't trying to say like I don't give a fuck about what you think, Supreme. Sorry, I was leaving quite abruptly a moment ago. I was saying I don't give a fuck what you think. It's just when I'm talking about this, I'm assuming that the people that I'm talking to don't want me and everyone I know to lose our jobs, and those
You
are the
don't-
people
you
I'm
don't
trying to
have to.
convince.
I think that the way you do your job might have to change and be legal.
So it's not. I totally disagree because the standard within political content and within commentary content, and that Ethan has set out, is that you respond to all the arguments and you play the video in full. So if you have an absolutist not using the full content position, you're not someone I'm interested in arguing.
I
with
actually,
about
you know
this.
what? Like, I don't blame you for that's the paradigm you grew up with. You're like 15 or 16. Like, you literally grew up with YouTube.
Okay,
being
and
that
paradigm
way.
Ethan's been engaged
If you want
in
to
for a
argue
year
about
and a
this, though,
half.
yeah. So I'm also gonna say if you want to argue about this, I think the
Why?
toothpaste is totally out of the tube on IP. At this point, the way the internet works, the way we communicate with each other,
Sorry, I'm back from touching grass. No. Go back to touching grass. Okay, go back to touching grass. Okay. It's too much. Okay, this shit is stupid.
is by downloading stuff,
Don't watch
reposting,
my content,
sharing.
please. Guys, please stop watching my content. Okay, please, just stop watching my content. Okay.
Constantly
Come on.
ripping and
Toothpaste.
posting
You
around.
guys,
It's simply
you guys are
where-
intelligent
where-
people in the first world.
Side
You're
note
not
too.
fucking Chinese cyber marketeers or the fucking.
Supreme,
par-
the
Okay.
little guy is never going
Called out, I guess.
to be able to
Okay.
protect their
Kidding,
copyright. The
kidding.
little guy is never going to be able to do it without us having some like insanely draconian like rules on every platform.
Yeah, we need new mechanisms to make sure that you can. I agree. Yeah, and we're too late for this. Like, we're 10 years behind on this. I agree 100%.
Which,
but you're
I'm saying,
basically-
no, I'm saying
just to
it's
be
not
clear-
10 years. I'm saying too late as in.
Hey
it's
guys,
the-
if you're a
if
platform,
we gotta sort
okay,
this out,
I'm-
it needed to be sorted out
Bad news.
years ago. And it wasn't.
I think there. No, I don't think there's any
It's
time.
been
like that.
enshrined in a way that only benefits the top studios basically and top content creators.
Not necessarily. I mean, DMCA was introduced like for this very reason, and I mean, we got a pretty swift like resolution, a new like from the first what was it called, the adpocalypse or whatever, right? That kind of brought new mechanisms. Who's to say we can't iterate over it again and say, you know what? Here's this new trend that started gaining popularity 3 or 4 years ago. Why are we saying that that's now a totally unreasonable turnaround time to generate new policies for this sort of thing?
So it makes it difficult to engage and respond. Like any more mechanisms that you add in that are like copyright strike-esque or whatever are going to make it more difficult for users to engage and respond with each other's thoughts and beliefs.
Yeah, but
and
it should
that
be
is
more
something
difficult.
fundamentally that almost everyone.
It's not.
is
It's not
against.
currently difficult enough.
Yeah, I think most people just completely would disagree with that.
The problem is
generally.
the ease, the
Preference,
lack of
because it's going to lean
difficulty right
towards
now.
free speech against IP law. I would
No,
be...
the problem is that you can have intersections of these things that we value.
Yeah, I agree.
obviously,
Yeah, and they cross over exactly.
But
And
they
there's
come
a
at
push
the,
and
they
a
can
pull
come
here,
at
and
the
I
expense.
believe,
They can come at the expense of
yeah,
people
yeah.
that
And I'm
think it's
saying
not.
I think free speech should be prioritized, even if that's at the expense of people's ability to retain their intellectual
No,
property.
you just want to keep
not
your
to the
job because
maximum.
it's easy and it's fun,
It will
and you
just
don't want
be
to have to
your
open an editor or
payday.
hire an editor.
I haven't
be
had
honest.
it.
I feel like anyone from Queeman's audience can just simply say, "Oh, it's because Queeman doesn't want his chat calling him out on reacting harder," right? Because I've seen multiple segments in which Queeman is just like quiet and he just doesn't say anything. Like even longer than I am. Okay, I admit that I'm an egregious violator of this. But like I've seen moments where even then, you know, he's just sitting there and then people from his chat goes like, "React harder, Queeman! React harder, Queeman!" So you know what? Maybe there is a point there. Okay, maybe there is a point there in saying like, yeah, he has some personal attachment to this issue.
What are you talking about? I pay an editor.
Okay, there you go. You don't want to pay your
Oh
editor
my
more
God.
because it'll require more time.
I think you actually react more than any other streamer I watch. I think I do. I think at some point in the past, Queeman made fun of me for not reacting enough to the content I'm watching, but I think the tables have really flipped. Okay, I think if anything, I am the most reactory of everyone.
And then
Yeah.
just like
I could get my editors to do more work for the same money. Trust me, Supreme.
But I try not to overwhelm. I try not to overwhelm you guys with too much commentary to the point where it interrupts the flow of the video.
It's not legit. I could literally. This is not a problem.
I think
Ultimately, I probably could.
fair enough.
That being said,
That was an accusation on my part. Like,
he zones out sometimes, dude. It's okay. Just play a video game in the background. Okay, it's not hard.
but
So-
I genuinely think that you are arguing from that like motivated reasoning. Yeah, because listen, I was a streamer. I know React content is easy
but
and it's fun.
I'm not saying it just from motivated reason. This is a position that I've held since before I started streaming. That I've held for like many years. I've always thought it should be fine to react in full to a video as long as you're putting some effort in. Obviously, in this case, some of them did not put effort into their reacts, and would I necessarily be against them getting sued for it? It depends. It depends whether there's precedent set.
Dude, Vermin Supreme was not a streamer. Was he? I don't know.
I don't want like react harder enshrined in the law. There's a lot of things to consider there. But generally, my position is as long as you are making a real effort to engage in a transformative way with the piece of media you're consuming, then yes, and that has always been my position. It's a very common position online that I think even since like Ethan's first lawsuit, many people took. So I don't think this is a motivated reasoning thing. I've had that position for
I
a
think
real
it might
long time.
partially be right.
So,
Like,
I mean, obviously, I've got more of a buy-in. Like, am I likely to change that position when it would affect my bottom line? Like, probably not. I mean, maybe you could say that. But the idea that I've just reasoned out this
Tipped
position
$5.
from
Supreme doesn't care about the
motivated
state of
reasoning,
the
that's just
internet
not
or
true. This is a
content,
position I've
because
held
he was
long
a
before I had a
failure.
motivation to hold
fair
the
enough.
position.
You know,
Other
I
than just
believe, I
simply
believe
liking
that,
the
but I
content.
still think
Jesus.
it comes at too great an intersection to like the traffic that it diverts away from
That's wrong, but also
creators' original works.
I need $10 more.
And you know what? Like I
continue to
just
stream
think
for
that you
another
can have
hour,
your cake
okay?
and eat too. But I think our
$10
positions
for
are
another hour
both
on the
well
stream,
established, and we
guys.
both
Dig deep.
understand them at this point.
Gift subs, donate. Donate.
Don't donate. Do not contribute any money. Contribute the money to me instead. Jstlk, I am maliciously declaring my intent towards you, okay? You can't do anything about it because you don't believe in it, okay? You don't believe in Ethan's right to do it, so therefore, I can say whatever I want to you, okay? With that being said, you should donate to me, okay? You should sign for order.com/foodshops if you want to support me, okay? I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys, most of all, okay?
Yeah, I just
Also join my Discord server. We need more people to bully Worm Slayers, okay?
Like I said, I just don't see how you go back to like what is that? Are we talking about AI enforcement? Like AI enforcement of copyright. This could be a thing where there's an algorithm that says whether you react hard enough, and it takes down your video if you didn't. How awesome would that be?
First
That'd
off,
be
that's
freaking
not
epic,
unrealistic
wouldn't it,
at all. Like that's kind of what DMCA and
Yeah, but doesn't that
Content
sound
ID,
like a nightmarish world?
one where people's works are protected, and we have
One,
like,
one where
algorithms that do
it's
that
like
automatically.
an algorithm deciding like every decision about which videos take down based on whether there was enough.
Now you
commentary
sound
or
like the
not, whether
scared
it's
old man,
substantive enough
Kuiman.
commentary.
You sound like the scared boomer.
Any automated systems for things that are like subjective are always gonna leave
Oh
something to be
my
desired. I
God.
think.
Content. We already have one of those. It's called.
Dude, not Loki Coco trying to incite violence in the fucking chat again. Oh my god, Loki Coco is not a girl. She's not a girl. She's not a girl, okay? She spends too much time in these spaces. There's no shot this person's a girl.
DMCA
Okay,
and
stop.
Content ID.
That's not an automated system for things that's supposed to be subjective. That's a system where you file a legal notice and
It's an
the thing
automated
happens.
system that detects when you're using somebody else's.
No, that's Content ID is a separate thing to DMCA. Content ID is a YouTube system that detects content, and most people hate that.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Z, that's not the same. It just tells you whether or not, like, she's, yeah. Maybe she's a hermit, but yeah, but you're a hermit, and you're less terminally online than she is. I feel like, I feel like the only people who have an excuse to be this terminally online are like people like me, who needs to be terminally online, because I want to catch up and keep up with everything, and I am kept up with everything, right? Yeah.
But the whole point of Content ID is that like the next mechanism is that it allows you to identify people who are using your content so that you can initiate a DMCA if applicable,
Well,
right?
I mean,
Regulating reaction content is just going to make a bunch of gray areas. I mean, but you still should draw some lines, shouldn't you? Like, I feel like it's a tough subject, okay? Gonna be honest. I'm not introverted, terminally online. Seeing her in a few chats, yeah, because dude, look, there's no woman out there, okay? This he him, he him, him, he him. Okay.
not necessarily. It's also for revenue sharing and.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are good mechanisms.
Yeah, like if YouTube had a thing. Okay, let's imagine this, right? If YouTube implemented, this is my perfect solution. Just split the ad revenue. Just split the fucking ad revenue.
Right? I just wish there was a license where you could say, "This is my
Yes.
piece of
Dude, we're so mean. I love it. Okay, I love how mean we are. It's great.
content I'm putting out. If people
Good
want to add
stuff.
it to their content, here's the split I want." And then people just.
But the thing
literally
is, I don't
select.
think that's going to be achieved. I don't think that's going to be achieved through a lawsuit like this. I don't think that's going to come out. But
It could be. I mean, again, like
That's the ideal
Content
outcome,
ID
but
came
that
about-
requires like Congress to do something, in my opinion.
Yeah.
yeah, well, or a federal case, and something like a federal case can draw that sort of attention.
Is this his
that Congress
final
can do. And
solution?
listen, again, the first Adpocalypse came up with Content ID, and part of what Content ID does is rev sharing, right? Like this would just be kind of a new iteration of the
real-
same type of solution.
Well,
that-
the
go
real
ahead.
So
issue
okay,
is that
Supreme, can I bring you
only
around
YouTube
to this
has
position?
It. There's a monopoly
Yeah.
issue, but go ahead.
I want to bring you around to this position. I want to try and convince you of this. If I can convince a anti-React guy of this at least, do you think this lawsuit is in any way likely to achieve a good outcome for the ecosystem, or do you think it is just going to be bad in a different way?
I don't necessarily think that what we got out of the Adpocalypse was bad in a different way.
Maybe she lives in South Korea and she's just studying for her civil service exam and lives in her grandparents' house, never exiting her room. Also like a hikikomori, right? Maybe. Okay, if Vermin Supreme was being honest here, he would argue for sure that the ad, dude, did he just say the adpocalypse was not necessarily good or bad? It was objectively bad for everybody, right? Who enjoyed content, who are like content enjoyers. I mean, unless Vermin Supreme is literally anti-content, right? But there's no shot he's just anti-content, right?
I think it was an evolution
Right?
and like a sort of, what do you call it? Like a triage.
I mean,
I'm
this is
passing this
different to
on,
the
how many-
apocalypse. That would be more.
Dude, listen, we already gave Loki like so many tries already, okay? Like how many more tries can she retrieve? Like use? for the for the exam.
Comparable to the Twitch
Yeah, anti-con pro
campaign.
working for free.
This
Yeah.
I'm talking about specifically the copyright stuff, the copyright lawsuit that Ethan.
Dude, listen, as much as I want to support Supreme on his argument, like, he just bites down on the most insane bullets. Nobody agrees that the adpocalypse was neutral for YouTube. It's like that's like one of the most delusional takes you can ever have, right?
Filing. Do you think this would actually produce good outcomes?
I feel like it was bad in the moment, but people make more money now than they did then, and having more clear rules help improve ads. Actually, yeah, no, I think I agree with that, honestly. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think I kind of because we are only good. We are only good at measuring the short-term effects, right? It's really hard to measure downstream effects as human beings, right? As human beings, we're just really hard at measuring downstream effects.
Comes in like to like a good position, a good system for copyright on YouTube and on the internet, or do you think it's just going to be that like maybe some people you don't like get screwed over?
Yeah, I think it'll be better, or it'll promote a better ecosystem that rewards people for original works.
Either
one of those two things. Yes. I mean, you're just basically telling me government bad. Government can't do anything.
I'm not
good,
saying.
right?
But then isn't this what the people demand? Don't people love reaction content? Isn't that the whole point? Like if you really don't want like reaction content to be a thing, that's fine. But then there's a market there's a market want for it. People want it in the first place. If people didn't want it in the first place, then it wouldn't exist, right? Period.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I mean,
the government.
Do I think it's possible?
No, the government could do something, right? Congress could come and pass a bill.
Do I think YouTube will do something on their own devices?
But no. I'm saying through the lawsuit that Ethan Klein is filing. Lawsuits.
Imagine Trump going like, these streamers, these criminals have gone far enough.
That Ethan Klein is filing. Do you think they are likely, if they lead to anything, to produce a good outcome, or do you think it will just still be in a different way?
Do I think that this lawsuit will even be one stone in the ground towards paving a road towards a better solution?
Affect the YT VOD numbers, viewers, and watch time.
No, I'm not. I'm trying. When I say a good outcome, not just fucked a different way. What I'm trying to get across is: do you think it will fix the situation? Do you think it will set us on the right track? There might be like some incremental change that you like in some way.
What was wrong with what I just said?
I think there's a difference between there being sort of like an incremental change in the ecosystem that might be in a way that you find preferable, versus making steps towards having a better system.
Yeah, like I mean, what's different between what you just said, having taking steps towards a better system, and saying
two differences. So a better system would be
but sorry, no, between saying that and me saying, do I think this will even be one stone in the ground towards paving the way for a better solution? That sounds like exactly.
I mean, it can. No, the thing you're saying, I feel like can mean either of the things I said, but I'm trying to draw a distinction between two different things. I'm trying to figure out which one you mean. So here are the two options I'm giving you. When you say step in the ground, a stone in the ground or whatever, do you think that will actually lead towards a better system that like is top down, where people can better guarantee their copyright in general, like everyone, not just the top level? Or do you think this is likely to just sort of put some people off of watching like Ethan's content or maybe similar content? Do you think the outcomes of this are likely to be enshrined or systematized in any way?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think this
you
will
really
be
you think so?
A catalyst of some size, even if it's small. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I just don't really believe that. I think the arguments in the lawsuit
a landmark case, right, for the internet.
I don't think the lawsuits in the case, the arguments in the lawsuit, a lot of them don't really support the idea that it would move towards a better system. I feel like a lot of it is focused on whether Denims knows enough about politics to talk about this or not.
Oh, interesting. I didn't get that when we went through the dockets earlier.
So there's quite a bit in there from what I saw about how it goes through like different talking points that Denims was like engaging with or saying, and then it tries to cite articles that disprove the talking points, and it talks about how she's uninformed and couldn't give substantive commentary and critique.
Is this the lawsuit you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't finish reading it.
Yeah, we may not have gotten there yet, but
so that's part of it. So
This dude thinks Denims is hot. OF subber. Queeman is not horny on Maine. Okay. I think he's terrified to be interpreted as someone who is horny. So
Arguments like that, I think, are incredible.
I mean, to be fair, I have seen moments where he slipped up. Okay, but he is generally a person who is not horny on Maine.
Incredibly concerning, especially if they get enshrined. I think that would even be potentially a worse situation, especially for free speech.
I
If
think
they
you're
were
right.
like,
I think that is concerning. Saying this
Yeah.
person is not qualified even to
exactly.
provide
So yeah,
content.
exactly. Because
okay.
dumb people should be allowed to talk about politics too. Okay.
God, I understand why we had such a
America,
disconnect. I literally
okay?
just wasn't familiar with that part of the docket. Yeah,
Okay,
certainly. I agree.
Maybe we should. Are we still debating,
Oh.
or should we move through
Wait,
some more of the content?
are we talking? Hold on, are we talking about like the start of the document where they're like, "Oh, Denim's commentary is like dumb and doesn't actually make a good point," and it's
Queeman sounds like a person scared to be touched by strangers. Okay, to be fair, anyone would be scared of being touched by streamers, right? Like just to be kind of charitable, you know, a little bit. Booze, I'm drunk as fuck. Go drink some water. Go sober up.
I think it's spoken about in multiple places. I watched Line the Box through most
there's
of
like four different points they make about how bad Denim's commentary is, and then they address the fact that there's 70 minutes of it. And I have multiple morons in my chat who are arguing that Denim's didn't say anything. She just rebroadcast the shit. No,
Yeah, 'cause they
literally list
basically
out
make an
more than
argument, say
70
that
minutes of
commentary
content that she
doesn't count.
commented.
Yeah,
Yes.
they say that commentary doesn't count because she's not informed enough and sounds like a basically.
Ooh, yeah, I think that's really dangerous. But I also don't think I have some faith in Los Angeles courts and well, I guess federal court in this case to like look at that and be like that has nothing to do with.
Sure.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter if you think.
Okay. And yeah, you might have faith in the courts, but you would say that this reflects very poorly on Ethan as the paragon of fair use and
Yeah.
free speech.
Well,
that he is
didn't-
trying to
he
use
didn't write
arguments.
that, right?
No, that doesn't matter. It's his representation. Someone representing him wrote that. So
Yeah, and I have no idea how. Yeah, I don't know. It might have. I have no idea how much of this, what came out of that docket is.
Okay, I've seen enough. I think we're never gonna cover this again. I think I've got the gist of this argument. Okay, I think I've got the gist of where the current discourse right now is at. Is there any more of this that I feel like is necessary? Otherwise, I think it's good to just end it here and end the stream and you know, just put this away from the docket. You know, unless they had like another night of arguing about this that has some kind of updates. But I do get the gist of both arguments now. Not trying to be a centrist or anything, okay? But I do get it. Jeez. Oh, fuck. Because I don't just want to sit here and just listen and not commentate. Because they're just kind of going around in circles. That, yeah, I mean, like, the only things we've kind of established and accepted that, you know, obviously, Ethan Klein is doing this because personal vengeance is great, you know? And then you have like the other side of it, which is like, what am I saying? What am I saying? Inside of you are two wolves, okay? One wolf tells you to sit there and react to a stream and not commentate anything, okay? The other wolf tells you you should comment on every single possible second, okay? We are all the two wolves, okay? There are two wolves inside of everybody, okay? Does that make sense, guys? If it doesn't make sense, you have not been listening, okay?
It's like Ethan meeting with his lawyer.
Okay. What? One wolf told me to donate. Based.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
One wolf told me to donate.
Bro, thank you so much for the 10 Australian, Barry. How do you, by the way, okay, Dio is hitting on you, okay? Dio, where are you? Dio, where are you? It's time for you to take your shot. Okay.
And it basically being like a therapy session where Ethan is just spouting out all his grievances, and then
These
the lawyer's
people are
just
being
like,
so
okay, got
mean
it.
and they're
He's
can't
typing it
taking
out.
my content and.
Hey, Soda King, thank you so much for $10. It's the same wolf, all right.